We're at the tapes for heat number 1 then, and it's Oxford in the red shirts on gates 1 and 3, Poole in blue shirts off gates 2 and 4. We've already had one restart in this one with a big first bend pile up, and they get away cleanly this time, or as cleanly as you'll ever get for the restart of the first race, and immediately it's Lewis Osborne who takes the lead. Thomas Reid from Poole chasing him down with Sam Hearn in the 3rd place. It's all square at this stage of the race as Reid continues his quest to get points at the expense of Lewis Osborne, and a big challenge there, and down they come on the first bend. Referee stopped that one. Let's hear what his verdict's going to be. And he's pointing to the Oxford rider, Lewis Osborne, as the cause of that stoppage. And here you can see why. A trailing leg causes Reid to take a tumble, and that's a pretty poor start for the Oxford defending champions, but a great start for Poole, who are going to have 2 riders to Oxford's 1 in the restart of the race. And it's poor old Errol Thor there in the middle, who's going to be potentially the meat in the Poole sandwich as they get underway with the restart of the race. What can Poole do then? Can they capitalise on the misfortune of the visiting Oxford team as the restart gets underway? And away they go immediately, and once again it's Reid from the outside grid who makes an early challenge, looking round for his team partner Sam Hearn, who comes into the lead as Errol Thor there desperately tries to hold off the team riding efforts of Thomas Reid, but Poole now away to a maximum 7-2 start. They couldn't possibly have dreamt of a better start to this match, and it's 7 points to Poole and 2 to Oxford. Well, Oxford are going to have to fight back in the 2nd race to try and nullify that home advantage, and Sam Hearn comes back into the pits there, a very happy man for the Poole Seaview coaches team, and he gets welcomed back by his teammates. Well, on the line for this one, we've got Greg Rukowski, the captain of the Poole Seaview coaches team, on the inside gate, but it's the ex-British champion Mark Bowler who poses the biggest threat for Oxford on gate 2 as away they go. And it's Rukowski who goes into an immediate lead, challenged by Bowler. Holds on to it. Meantime, Matty Shimshak comes right round for Oxford as Aaron Morgan, British junior champion, makes a desperate attempt to pass Bowler, and at the moment it's all square 5-5, but Morgan comes through. Bowler lets him go, comes back underneath him. Good bit of riding there by the Oxford rider to stamp out the attempts by Morgan to get into 3rd place. So at the moment the race is shared 5-5. Remember, it's 4-3-2-1 scoring in Cycle Speedway, and this one's going to end up all square as they take the checkered flag. Rukowski the race winner, Matty Shimshak in 2nd place, Mark Bowler 3rd, and Aaron Morgan there, a valiant effort to get up into 3rd place, but he was stamped out, and that makes the score 12 points to Poole and 7 to Oxford after 3 races. Well, it's a home debut for the ex-world champion, and that's a Polish superstar, Marcin Szymanski, who starts from gate 4. His riding colleague for Poole will be the Southampton-based rider Tom Colling, and they're put under orders, and Colling there looks to have got his marching orders. Rules of Cycle Speedway, very, very strict indeed. Any movement at the tapes will result in a rider's exclusion, and you can see there that Colling goes back to the pits, and that leaves Szymanski to face the powerful Oxford pairing of Mark Carmichael, the Welsh international, and Lewis Bates in the restart of the race. What can Szymanski do then? As they put under starters' orders, away they go. And that's a pretty strong first bend from Szymanski. In fact, it's brilliant first bend by Szymanski because he goes around both of the Oxford riders. Well, really difficult thing to do from the gate 4 position, the least favoured starting gate position, but Szymanski made light work of it, and here he is leading home the 2 Oxford riders in the restart of Heat 3, and it's going to be a 5-4 race advantage to Oxford, but nevertheless very much a case of damage limitation by the home side there, as their new man and top star Marcin Szymanski shows just why the Poole club were so keen to signing on for the 2012 season. But just let's hear what Marcin's team partner Tom Collins got to say about that exclusion.
I thought, look, grid 1 had a little bit of a twitch, and I don't really feel like I moved a lot myself. My whole body didn't go, it was more just my arms, but it was a fair decision from the referee to exclude me.
We move on to heat number 6 now, with Poole just holding a slender lead, 25 points to 23, but they have the inside advantage in this race with Tom Colling and his partner Marcin Szymanski. Victor in his opening ride. It's Mark Bowler and Matty Shimshak for Oxford on gates 2 and 4, and another key race at this stage of the match as they come into the first bend. Poole looking for a maximum start, which looked like they've got, but it's Tom Colling who gets caught out by the Oxford pairing, and he's now back in 3rd place, and Bowler catches him on the back wheel going into turn 1, and the race is stopped. Referee points the finger towards Bowler to return to the pits as the cause of that exclusion stoppage, and he's back in the pits now protesting his innocence along with his teammates. And it looks like there's going to be a restart of the race with 2 Poole riders and only 1 Oxford rider. Bowler far from happy with that. He felt he was the innocent victim in that tumble, but I think the replay might show otherwise, as we see Colling here clipped on the back wheel. Bowler tries to switch, just mistimes it, brings down the Poole rider, and referee had a fairly easy decision to make as we look at the restart now. And this should be a bread and butter race for the Poole side, with Szymanski holding off the challenging Shimshak, while Tom Colling gets away out in front, and it looks like it's going to be a 7-2, another 7-2 for the Poole side, and that's going to give them a 7-point race advantage. 32 points to 25 now, the home side lead after that 7-2. Let's hear what Mark Bowler's got to say.
Mark, your view on that clearly wasn't the same as the referee.
No, I thought it was a bit unfortunate. Obviously I'd done a switch back on him and he come down. The ref said there was contact, so there's nothing I can do about it. Just have to bite my tongue and get on with it.
Well, it's now heat 7, and with that 7-point advantage, Oxford know that they've got to do something in this one, and they've got the pairing of Mark Carmichael and Lewis Bates, and then they will come on the first bend. A common sight in cycle speedway, first bend bunching there, and the referee is going to call them back, and it's going to be a restart with all 4 riders. Shake of the hands there, no ill feelings between Tom Reed and Lewis Bates. So they'll come back to the line for a restart, and certainly Oxford will be keen to wipe out some of that 7-point deficit. They won't want to be getting behind this early in the match, as this time it's a clean start. Carmichael's first to show for the Oxford club, and it's Thomas Reed in 2nd place, Lewis Bates 3rd, Sam Hearn at the back. 6-4 enables the Oxford team to recover some of that deficit. They trail now by 5 points. We've got Greg Grukowski up next, the Poole captain, Victor early on, and his partner Aaron Morgan, and we've got Lewis Osborne on the outside gate there, and the reserve replacement ride coming in for SHAUN RUDMAN. Could he be a key rider in this race as Oxford seek to narrow the margin even further? At the tapes now, and away they go, and Rudman indeed does get a very good start from the inside there, leads the Poole pairing, tries to shut the door on Morgan, but that just allows Grukowski to come around a lot of them and into the lead. Rudman still having a battle with Morgan there, and it seems that he's shut off the young Poole rider, but it looks like it could be a share of the spoils this time, because Greg Grukowski out in front, Osborne hot on his tail in 2nd place, then it's Rudman. Can they catch the Poole captain, or will Poole pick up a shared race here to maintain their current advantage? Coming round into the final lap, Grukowski pretty swift round his home circuit there. Rudman tries a last bend do-or-die effort, it doesn't come off. Osborne in 2nd place then. It's a 5-5 race result, and it makes the score now after that one. Poole 41, Oxford 36. We're on to heat 9 now, the last race before the interval of this 18-heat match, and Poole still holding that advantage. What can Oxford do? Can they get a heat advantage before the break? Away they go then, and that's Chris Osborne into the lead from Tom Colling. Mark Bowler there, as always, in the thick of the action. He's in 3rd place. And we've got Leighton Glover for the home side, attempting an inside pass. Well, he's certainly attempting an inside pass, but he had to take a shortcut. The referee instructed riders to revert to their original positions, and so Bowler's back into 3rd place. Doesn't look too happy. Glover's got to do it all again from the back, and at the moment Horspath holding on to a 6-4 race advantage. 1 lap to go then, and Chris Osborne well out in front, Tom Colling in 2nd place, Mark Bowler there just making sure he gets the 2 points for a 3rd place, and it's Leighton Glover at the back. A 6-4 then to Oxford, which narrows the half-time score to Poole 45, Oxford 42.
You know, this is 2 good teams. Horspath is very experienced team. We as well. We have advantage on this track, so I think we'll be very, very close.
So we pick up the racing after the half-time break with Poole still in the lead by just 3 points, nothing between them, and there's the big guns Thomas Reid and Mark Bowler on the inside starting positions here. And away they go, and whoa, what's happening there on the first bend? Bit of chaos, the referee immediately blows up, and we're going to have a restart of the race with all 4 riders. Let's see if they can get it clean this time. Away they go, and it's Bowler leaning on to Reid onto the first bend there, and he really mugs the Poole rider as the Horspath captain goes into the lead, and Poole look like they want to take a 5-5 out of this, but Matty Shimshak comes through for Oxford to take over the 3rd place, and Thomas Reid immediately striking back there and having a bit of a battle at the back for 3rd and 4th place, while Bowler's way out in front. Sam Hurnett is in 2nd place. Thomas Reid now's got his work cut out to keep the high-flying pole behind him, and this would share the race. But at the moment, it's a battle for 3rd and 4th place. Thomas Reid still just about holding on, and in fact now just moves away to the checkered flag to take the vital 2 points. Poole then sharing the spoils with Oxford that time, and it's still just 3 points between them. 60 to Poole, 57 to Oxford. On to Heat 13, see if the visitors and reigning champions can strike back this time. Into the first bend they go. Szymanski making his home debut there, immediately challenging once again from the outside. Lewis Osborne in the lead for Oxford. The battle for 3rd place once again just as important as Tom Colling and Errol Thor there, getting tied up, and Thor comes through to take over. Szymanski being left no room whatsoever out in front there, and has to take to the outside line as Colling once again looking to challenge Errol Thor. Oh, and Thor gives him a bit of an elbow, and Collins clean over the safety fence there. Osborne continuing to lead. Colling over there on the outside of the track, the race being allowed to continue. In fact, the race does continue, and Osborne wins it. Szymanski 2nd, Errol Thor 3rd, and looks like Horspath taking a 6-3 there. The referee saw nothing wrong in that incident. No riders excluded, although there might have been a case for Osborne leaving Szymanski very little room, and certainly be interesting to see how Errol Thor and Tom Colling got tangled up, and just why Tom Colling ended up over the safety fence. You can see just a little bit of a nudge there. Colin getting into the loose material, hitting the safety fence. Good job, he's a big strong lad. He also plays rugby for Millbrook, but right at this moment he's recovering from quite a nasty knock, getting some first aid attention there. Mark Bowler, the Oxford captain, just checking him out to make sure he's all right, and Colling fortunately coming back to the pits. Well, it'd be interesting to hear what he's got to say.
He slipped coming out the 2nd bend, so I went for it going along the straight, and I was pretty much round him. And obviously from our team's point of view, it looked like a bit of a late elbow, and obviously the fence come up pretty quick, and legs overhead, and hit the crowd and the staging quite hard, and I ran my shoulder a little bit, but I'll be all right, and I'll go back out there.
Well, that's the ups and downs of cycle speedway. It is a physical contact sport, but what it does mean at this particular moment is that the teams are deadlocked on 63 points apiece. And they're away for Heat 14. Shaun Rudman getting into an early lead there. He certainly traps round Pete Young, and it's Greg Rukowski now who's sitting at the back there covering his team partner. Poole going for a drawn race here, 5-5. Mark Carmichael, I'm sure he won't want to be content to sit at the back there, making a strong challenge on Rukowski now, and Rukowski just about holding on, but it's a real battle royal for 3rd place. Rudman out in front then, and Carmichael coming through, catching Grukowski, but then taking a tumble. Appeals to the referee, but Grukowski continuing in third place. The referee seeing nothing wrong with that, and it's once again a share of the spoils, a drawn race, 5 to each team, and it moves the scoreline on to 68 points to Poole, 68 to Oxford. Well, we're having our fair share of thrills and spills in this second half as both teams trying to struggle for supremacy. Carmichael then just a little bit crestfallen that time. He picked himself up for the 1 point. Good to see that sporting exchange of handshakes there as they come back into the pits. Well, it's heat 15. Can the deadlock be broken? It's 68 each, and it's Oxford on the inside gates 1 and 3. Should have a 7-3 if they can get their act together this time, but there's some movement at the tapes. Referee deliberating on it, and looks as if he's pointing to Shaun Rudman. Yes, on gate 3. That is a real blow for Oxford, because they had their sights set on a 7-3, and now they've just got one rider to battle it out, and that's Lewis Bates.
That was unfortunate. Was that a distraction or a bit of anticipation?
Gate 2 moving.
Gate 2 moving,
Gate 2 twitch, yeah.
Well, Shaun not too happy, but we're on with the rerun. Lewis Bates then's got it all to do for Oxford, and he's certainly glad he got the gate 1 there. He's got Aaron Morgan and Leighton Glover on his tail, but the two Poole youngsters are going to have to really work hard if they're going to make any impression on the wily Stoke-based rider, who is out in front comfortably, taking the checkered flag. So that's damage limitation then for Oxford. Poole taking a 5-4 to go into a slender lead, 73 points to 72. Still everything to ride for with just 3 races remaining. On to heat 16, and this time it's Poole on gates 1 and 3. They've got their tom-tom pairing, that's Thomas Reid and Tom Colling, and Poole will be hoping with the inside starting gates to take a race win here and get their noses in front. Colling makes it away from the start with Lewis Osborne in second place. Thomas Reid once again in the thick of the action. He's holding on to Matty Shimshak for third place. This would give Poole a 6-4 race win advantage, but still work to do for Reid. He's been in that position many times in his illustrious racing career, and he holds on to the vital third place. Tom Colling takes the win, and Poole now move into a 3-point lead, 79-76, with just 2 races remaining. It's a nail-biter. Well, Tom Colling there going from 0 to hero in that one as he takes the win, having taken that really bad tumble in his previous race, falling on his ear literally, and he's taken the 4 points to set Poole up. So 2 heats remaining. What can happen in heat 17 as the riders get their instructions from the team managers?
Four laps. It's the one outside you. It's got to be the one outside you. It's too risky. I mean, you've got to go for a couple of pedals because we're going with Bowler.
Well, it's Oxford on gates 1 and 3 with Lewis Bates once again on the inside. The Poole skipper Greg Grukowski on gate 2. What's his first bend tactic going to be? Well, we can see what it is. It's to make a start. He's made the start there, and he's out in front. Sam Hearn there chasing at the back for Poole, and Bates now is in third place, and now Grukowski has got none other than Mark Bowler right on his tail. This could be fireworks because we know what Bowler's capable of, and Grukowski there holding on, comes under pressure from Bowler, who takes him right off the track there. They both get back on their bikes, but it's the Poole skipper who reacts more quickly, gets back into third place. What was a 5-5 race, still a 5-5 because Bates has come through to take it over from Sam Hearn. Grukowski there was much the quicker to react as Bowler couldn't recover from that slight altercation, and he finished at the back, and it's another drawn race. But that really was a controversial moment. If Bowler could have held on to that, Horspath could have mounted a 7-3 race result. Bowler here, trademark inside pass. Grukowski caught napping, but as you can see, Bowler just getting into that loose material, loses control. Grukowski manages to cross the outside line. He's allowed to do that because he was given no room on the track, and he was quicker to react. But there we are, once again, a shot of Bowler coming through, Bukowski taken right off the track, Bowler slipping, Bukowski picking his pedals up very much more quickly, and vital in terms of Poole, because that enables them to hold on to their 3-point advantage with just a race to go. So, who better to have in your final race when you're just a couple of points in front than the former world champion Marcin Szymanski. He coming out from gate position number 1 in this final race. Poole just need to share the spoils in this one. A 5-5 drawn race would mean that they could take the match, and for the first time in 11 years maybe get a win against their great rivals and the reigning league champions. So there you see the scoreline, 84-81 with the heat remaining. Szymanski, he just dropped 1 point so far this afternoon in his home debut, and here he is lining up from gate 1. The Oxford pairing who got all the work to do, Mark Carmichael and Chris Osborne. They would be the heroes if they could get a heat win here, but they need a 7-3 to win the match. Szymanski getting a pretty quick start there. Carmichael making a challenge, Osborne making a challenge, Szymanski leading the race, and I think it's going to be curtains for the Oxford team as the Hammers are going to have to concede the league points. First time they've done that on this track for many, many seasons, and could be the presence of this rider out in front, Marcin Szymanski from Wrocław in Poland, with a lap to go, leading it home. The home crowd here getting excited at the prospect of a win, and he comes round to take the checkered flag. Szymanski, still arguably the top rider in World Cycle Speedway. What a home debut. 19 out of 20 points for the pole, and it's Poole that take the league points, and very popular amongst his teammates as he comes back into the pits at the end of that race. Heat 18, final score in the match, 89 to Poole, 86 to Oxford. Well, let's hear what team manager Colin Sutton's got to say about that. I'm sure he'll be a very happy man.
After a match like that, you could say that everyone's a winner really, and maybe in some circumstances a draw would be quite a fair result, but having lost out to Horspath over the years, on several occasions quite close, then I think we'll take the win today. That's very good.
Well, he's a happy man, and Poole are a happy team as they take the league points. 18 heats of superb cycle speedway racing, and a last heat decider. It doesn't get much better than that, and we're certainly going to be expecting very much the same in the next BCTG Elite League race.